This is Fox 26 Morning News Extra.
All right, changing gears now. Homes that are staged sell up to 5 times faster than the unstaged competition. It's very different from just decorating. It's showcasing your home so that potential buyers can envision themselves living there, and that's what's so important. Autumn Dunn is an expert at staging. She's president of the Houston chapter of the American Society of Home Stagers and Redesigners and owner of Autumn Dunn Interiors. Thank you so much for being here today to teach us what this means.
Thank you for having me. I'm so excited to be here.
Yeah, and a lot of the times you can find the goodies in somebody's very own home. It's just pulling out the perfect ones and making it all look right.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's start with some of your ideas.
Oh, okay. Well, first of all, when I go into a client's home, I like to focus on 3 things: to declutter, neutralize, and update. So when I'm going through a home, I'm looking at the homeowner's rooms through those eyes. And first thing a homeowner would want to do is, when they're decluttering, is they're going to want to put away their collectibles and their valuables. And you can fill that space in then with seasonal flowers or nice smelling candles. Keep it very generic for buyers coming through. And also, you're going to want to put away your family photos. Buyers are going to spend a lot of time looking at your photos and not at the property. So you want to replace it with just generic scenic type pictures.
So you just take out your own pictures and stick those in, because I guess you want the people to envision themselves there and not another family.
Absolutely.
So you don't want it to be quite that personal for them.
Right.
And people have a lot of pictures usually around their house, so that's going to take a little work. But you can find things that are inexpensive to replace them.
Exactly. You can use calendars, postcards. You don't have to spend a lot of money. Just look around your house and see what you have.
Use your same frames. Just put something over your family photo.
Absolutely. You can even print pictures off the internet too. So.
Yeah, great idea. And then you're always going to want a fresh coat of paint. So important for everything to look nice and new. And I guess you want to kind of steer away from really bright, bold colors.
Yeah, you want to try and neutralize a little bit. But when I say neutralize, I'm not saying white and boring. Color's okay, but you want to stay in the neutral earth tone family, like the grays, the sage greens, and the beiges.
So those are all safe and good in colors. Now, paint can be very expensive, but it's worth doing the price.
It's worth the investment. If you paint your home yourself, it's not very expensive. The paint itself doesn't have to be expensive. So you might want to try doing some yourself and hiring out the rest, the difficult areas. But when you're thinking of buying paint, consider the low VOC paints that are eco-friendly. It's a great selling tip to those eco buyers out there.
If anyone who's green is going to be really interested in that. I love a little tip you brought in today. This is so interesting. I've never even heard of this before.
Oh, it's a fantastic product, and
you can paint your couch and your pillows and all the fabric in your house.
Absolutely. I found this upholstery fabric spray paint, and it's by Simply Spray, and I found it at Hobby Lobby. And
it's so soft. You would never know. I can't tell a difference in the texture at all from the side that wasn't painted to this side. And I guess you would just put a piece of tape or something to block it, so you showed us how that worked. And you even stenciled on the back?
Yes, you can do so many different things with it. You can make your own stencil, buy your stencil, and you can spray it on.
What a neat thing. And it says that it will stay on there forever. So it's permanent.
And it's washable, and non-toxic, and non-flammable. So.
And you show here that you could even change a lampshade. You could add a little bit more color to a room and really make it look nice with just a very small amount of money.
Absolutely. And it comes in a wide array of colors, even eggy maroon. I'm not playing favorites with the orange up here today.
Hey, they'll be glad to know that.
Yes.
Now, moving on to those door handles, I know that most homes that are, what, 10, 15 years old have the gold, and a lot of people are updating that to the more typical colors.
Well, yeah, you know, if you update one room, you really want to keep it consistent. You want to update consistently, and you don't really want to spend a lot of money everywhere, and you don't need to. But one inexpensive way that you can update rooms is simply by updating your knobs. Your door handles get grimy and worn in time, so you want to freshen those up. And also you can update your light fixtures, update your switch plates, and these are very inexpensive things that you can do to just give your house a real fresh, updated look.
And when people think about this, though, if they're trying to sell their home, they might be wanting to save money. But again, it is worth them going out, trying to buy these things affordably to sell their home. It's going to go a lot faster.
Absolutely. Homeowners shouldn't think of staging as an expense. It's really an investment, and they're going to get that back on the sale of their home, because their home is going to show and stand out above the competition. competition, and it's going to sell in a shorter, faster time, and in most instances, they're going to get a higher sale price for their home.
What about some other tips? Like, I would think leave the lights on during the day. That's something that you can do that's inexpensive, but it makes everything look bright and airy and homey, all the lamps and things like that.
Yes, you're going to want to leave certain lights on, especially if some rooms are a little darker than others. Also, if you have a radio and you morning, put on some nice, easy listening, soft music, not loud, so that people can speak over it, but it gives an instant ambiance and a warmth to the home.
I sold my home a few years ago, and our realtor even suggested that we bake cookies that morning so that it would smell like that, and then leave them out on the bar. It was inviting with, you know, a bucket of bottled water. It was very inexpensive and fast to do, and it did make the, I mean, I didn't want to leave the house. It smells so good. Do you think that that helps?
Absolutely. All those little tips and tricks help, and even the nice smelling candles that you can get with those aromas. A lot of people are busy and they don't have time to bake cookies every morning.
Right.
So you can do the same thing with a nice smelling candle in that room.
And I would think you would want to be careful and make sure your realtor's there, though. You wouldn't probably want to leave your candle burning all day.
Oh,
might be a danger there.
Yeah, no, you don't leave them on. The aroma from the candle itself, without even being lit, will do the trick.
All right, any other last-minute tips for somebody who is ready to stage that home and get it on the market? It goes faster, it sounds like 5 times faster if you do these updates.
Absolutely. I can't emphasize, though, that a clean house, clean those bathrooms, clean those kitchens, make them sparkle, because there isn't anything that sells a home faster than a clean home.
Make up the bed every day.
Absolutely.
Make sure your shoes and socks aren't lying in the closet, right? We're going to spend a little extra time getting ready in the morning, but
yes, it's a little bit of work, but it's worth it.
All right. Well, thank you so much. And now that we know how to stage the inside, Autumn will be right back with tips on staging the outside. Very important on that curb appeal. When most people hear the phrase staging a home, they immediately think of preparing the home's interior. But don't forget about your curb appeal. Staging expert Autumn Dunn is back with me with tips on how to stage the outside of your home. Thanks for sticking around and talking about this, because this is the first time somebody is going to drive up to that home and see it. They need to think really positive things, don't they?
Absolutely. A buyer is going to make an impression in the first 5 seconds they see a home, and you might have done all the work on the inside, but if you forgot the outside, they might not even come in.
Well, there's a lot of things like the brick, things like that you can't change, but there are a lot of things that you can tweak. Where do we begin? What are the most important things that someone needs to think about when they're selling their home? Well,
you want to look at your home from a buyer's eyes and walk around your home objectively. Look at your paint and see if it needs to be, if it's chipping, then you're going to want to freshen it up with paint. Also, we have a mildew problem here in Houston with our weather. So you're going to want to power wash everything. It's going to give it a crisp, fresh look. Another thing you want to look at are your plants. You know, they grow so fast. You want to trim them. Dead plants, you want to remove them right away. You want to make sure that your grass is kept cut and weed free.
And you want to,
like
yeah, definitely make sure that it looks good. Do you need to add maybe some bright flowers on the porch or at the curb, some different things like that that will really make your eye pop and grab your attention?
Absolutely. And if you're home and you're able to care for them and water them, then I highly recommend a bright color. Red is always a great color to grab someone's eye from the curb. You don't have to do a lot, just a lot to draw the eye to the front door. Another way is to paint your door. Give your door a fresh coat of paint. And if you're not going to be home, then you can put something on the door, a nice floral on the door, but just something that says fresh welcome mat, something that is just warm and inviting.
We're showing some video and some tips from your website throughout this interview, so that will help people, and they can always go there for the big list. We'll make sure we get that link on our website at myfoxhouston.com so they can go and get the whole list that you have, which is such helpful information. One of them that I just noticed that you said is clean out your gutters. A lot of people, you just don't think about doing that. We might even do it on a regular basis, but you don't want them to see that if they're looking at the home.
Absolutely.
I mean, it needs to look clean and pristine. What about, we look at that house right there, and that just has beautiful curb appeal. It just looks lovely. We see the bright green grass, so obviously we need to probably be watering a lot in these hot Texas months. Don't think that, you know what, I'm leaving the house, I'm just going to let it go. It probably needs to look better than ever, doesn't it?
Absolutely. It never has to look better than before when you're trying to sell your home.
And we see nothing on that side sidewalk, so they probably got out there and perhaps swept some leaves and grass clippings off that morning before they left for the office, perhaps.
Yes, and fall is around the corner, so we are going to start having more leaves in the driveway and on the grass and stuff. So very, very important to take care of that and do a little extra maintenance that we might not necessarily do.
What about your driveway? I mean, it's something where people are parking their cars all the time. If there's oil stains and things like that, do we need to worry about that, or don't sweat it?
Absolutely, absolutely. And a power wash, it will go a long way to help clean up all those unsightly stains that you see on the driveway.
Any other tips for somebody if they're, I guess, about how to see their home objectively, because we get so used to our homes, we're so comfortable with it. Would you perhaps maybe get a friend over and take a look at you, or hire someone to help you and say, this is probably what you need to do to make it look more enjoyable?
Yeah, sometimes when it's our own place, we lose our objectivity, so it is great. A friend might not maybe be as honest as you would need them to be. So that's where staging consultants like myself come in handy, where we come and we can look at it from a professional eye and give you professional tips and recommendations. And we do it so that we give you tips and things that you can do that are going to get you the maximum return on your investment for the least amount of money.
What do you tell somebody who has a lot of pets? Because certainly people are going to be walking around the yard and you don't want them having a little surprise on the bottom of their shoe. But what do? You got a pet. I mean, what are you going to do about that?
Well, again, it's maintenance, and this is one time that you are going to have to make that and put that effort forth to get that. If you want your home to sell quickly and you want to get the highest profit for your home, then you are going to have to put a little effort forth and clean up those messes. Pets really should be removed from the home before showing, ideally, and you don't want any of their smells left behind either.
And that would, we're talking outside right now, but certainly that would be inside for cat litter pans, birds who throw their seeds everywhere.
Yes.
I've seen that with my parents a whole lot, where they had to work so hard to clean that up. But ideally, you get those pets out of the house the whole time you're showing your home, where they send them to a friend or family member and hope they can find a good home for a little while.
Yes, and there's also daycares for your pets too now, and not all that expensive. Very, very much worth the investment.
All right, so right now we're going to keep those yards clean, get it all painted up, and hopefully looking really good.
Absolutely, and I've got lots of before and after photos on my website that will give house sellers out there great ideas and more than I can possibly share in this short period of time with them.
And when we were just looking at those, it gives you ideas. It does spark your I guess, creativity to look at the house before, the house after, and realize what you can do with your own. So I think that is helpful information for everybody. Autumn, thanks for coming in today. So good to talk to you. And anybody who is out there selling a home is probably ready to stage it. We certainly hope so. Natalie.